and welcome back to my channel. So today we're just going to be having a look at cousins and what is sort of a first cousin, a second cousin, a third cousin, and so on. And also, what does it mean when we say once removed, twice removed, 10 times removed? I know that a lot of people have problems with this one. It can be so confusing, like this clip from Mean Girls shows.
You know who's looking fine tonight? Seth Mosikowski.
Okay, you did not just say that.
What? He's a good kisser.
He's your cousin.
Yeah, but he's my first cousin.
Right.
So you have your cousins, and then you have your first cousins, and then you have your second cousins.
No, honey. Mm-mm.
That's not right, is it?
That is so not right.
So without further ado, let's just get into it and let's chat about cousins. Okay, first I'm going to put together a basic pedigree chart just as an example so you can follow on what I'm saying. This isn't going to be my whole big family tree. It'll just be enough just to get us started, just for an example. Okay, so there's me at the bottom, V Bland self, and then above that is my parents, and then above that is my grandparents, my maternal grandparents, and above that is my great-grandparents, and above that my great-great-grandparents. Obviously, I'm just going straight up one line. And now I've added my uncle and my first cousin. So that's my mum's brother and his daughter. And next I've added my cousin's son. So don't get caught up in the relationships just yet. I'm just showing you who I'm adding in here. So my first cousin's son is J. Smith. Now I'm going right back up to the top of my tree and I'm adding in my great-grandfather's brother. That's my great-grand-uncle, or great-great-uncle, I actually would prefer to say. So then I'll add in the rest of his line. So you can see his daughter, her son, and I don't know if the son had any children, but I'm just putting a question mark there just for an example. Now I've added in my grandmother's sister. So E. Doyle, my grandmother, and M. Doyle is the sister, and her husband, F. Foster. And next I'm adding their daughter, M. Foster. So my grandmother's sister's daughter. And then I'll add the rest of her line in there. Okay, so hopefully that's not too confusing. I just wanted you to sort of understand who I was putting into this tree, but it doesn't matter too much. It was just an example. So firstly, I'll talk about first cousins. As you can see, I've now highlighted it. Me and my first cousin, L. Ritchie. The thing that defines first cousins is that we share a set of grandparents. So as you can see, if you trace back each of our lines, we end up at the same grandparents. Obviously, we don't share both sets of our grandparents. You've only got to share one set, but everyone I think knows what a first cousin is. So next I'm going to look at my cousin's son, J. Smith. He's my first cousin once removed. Now, he's once removed because he's one generation removed from my generation. So you can see that I'm on generation 5. If you look to the side, I've just called it generation 5. You can call it whatever you want. But he's not in the same line as me. He's one line down. So if you look up to sort of M. Foster and G. Murphy, you can see that being once removed can actually go either way. It can be a generation above me or a generation below me. It's just saying that that this person is one generation removed from me. Now, J. Smith is also still a first cousin once removed because he's also just connected to the same set of ancestors as his mother. That's J. Ritchie and E. Doyle. So let's just move on and I'll give you another example. M. Foster is also my first cousin once removed. Now I've highlighted my mother just to show you. M. Foster is my mother's first cousin and they share grandparents. So for me, it's my great-grandmother and great-grandfather, but for my mum and her cousin, they share grandparents. Just the same as the previous slide. So now I am sort of like J. Smith was, I'm one generation down. So M. Foster is also my first cousin once removed because she's one generation up from me, but she shares the same grandparents as my mother, so it still makes her a first cousin. Okay? Keeping up, I'm going to keep going with more examples. I'm going to look at Kay Doyle, who is a first cousin twice removed. So she's 2 generations removed from me. As you can see, she's generation 3 and I'm generation 5. She shares grandparents with my grandmother. So as you can see, her and Kay Doyle and E Doyle are first cousins. They share grandparents. Okay, so just to kind of sum this up, first cousins are people who share a set of grandparents. And being once removed or twice removed is how many generations apart people are from the core person in the chart. So I'm the core person in this chart. These are all people who are in relation to me. So being once removed from me is someone who's either a generation above or a generation below me. And being twice removed is somebody who's 2 generations away from me. 3 times removed would be 3 generations away, and so it goes on. So to move on to second cousins. Second cousins are people who share a set of great-grandparents. So as you can see in this example, myself and T. Scanlon both share a set of great-grandparents. That's E. Connors and M. Doyle. So T. Scanlon is no generations removed from me, so she's just my second cousin. She's on the same level as me. Just remember that generations removed also isn't to do with age. So T. Scanlon is actually my mother's age, but that was just a difference in sort of years born. Like sometimes cousins can be much older or much younger than you. So when we're talking about generations removed, remember it's not the age of the person, it's how far they are away from the common ancestor. So in just the same way, a third cousin is somebody who shares great-great-grandparents with me. So I don't know if this person even exists, Murphy, but they would be my third cousin if they do exist. They're on the same generation as me. They are there's 3 generations in between us and our great-grandparents. So because we share great-grandparents, we are third cousins. Just the same as my 4th cousin would share great-great-great-grandparents, and my 5th cousin would share great-great-great-great-grandparents. And it just goes on and on like that. I hope that makes sense. Okay, I hope that made sense and I hope it was helpful. Just to reiterate, a first cousin is someone who shares grandparents, a second cousin shares great-grandparents, and so on. Generations removed is just talking about how many generations away from you this person is. If you have any other questions or comments, please leave them below in the comments section. I'd love to hear them. And I'm happy to make more videos like this one if there's still more interest. Make sure that you hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any future videos. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great one, whatever you are doing, and I'll hopefully see you soon in my next video. Bye!